Hello everybody, and welcome back to another BEATSTAR Player 180 video. And I am your host, Infinite Boy, your local Russian boyo. And no, this is not another channel takeover, hijacking storyline. We've already gone past that point. However, this is something unusual indeed, because me and Paul were thinking, whether you're a new player or someone who's been playing since the beta version of BEATSTAR, there is still a good chance there are some things you do not know about the game, which is why both of us have created the BEATSTAR Iceberg. If you are unfamiliar with the Iceberg format, which be a bit surprising because there are so many Iceberg videos on YouTube, damn it! There are 5 layers, with the top layer being well-known things, and then each layer becoming increasingly more unknown and interesting. I will discuss everything written in each layer in necessary detail, or as much detail as we have found. So, let us see how much you know about BEATSTAR. The hold notes in BEATSTAR are often criticized by players due to the mechanic of hold note ticks, where you have to hold down the note in a certain place for a certain time to get all the points from the hold note. Imagine this system being in Guitar Hero. Yeah, you can't, because no rhythm game does that, but BEATSTAR does. So, previously, to ensure that you get every point from a hold note, you would press underneath the perfect line. If you pressed above the perfect line, you could miss points. Recently, however, after an update, this has been switched. So now you have to press above the perfect line? Yeah, this is an unusual mechanic and it takes some time getting used to, but it does create some stupid stuff like this. Now tell me you don't want to play heat waves like that. The swipe notes in BEATSTAR may be difficult for some players. However, the developers decided that you will always get maximum points from a swipe note no matter where you hit the note, unless you hit it at the very top of the screen. This has recently become the same for hold note swipes. Every so often, the Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, whatever pages for BEATSTAR will provide free gems, infinite play, case cards, or sometimes free songs. They are valid during the month they are posted, so make sure you have collected them all before the start of the next month. One of BEATSTAR's main mechanics are the card chests, which you unlock after playing through songs and waiting a certain amount of time to open. You can only play a certain amount before the chest slots are full and you have to wait. To avoid this, however, players can close the game during a song to avoid receiving any coins if they are not pleased with their score. I am pretty sure we don't need to explain what the Tour Pass is. Since the beginning of the Tour Pass's debut, we have seen one extreme song in each pass, and we thought that this was a tradition. That was not the case for Season 5. Africa to the World has not presented us with an extreme song, which left people confused, disappointed. Outrage has struck the BEATSTAR community, even though it was probably due to a copyright issue with the planned extreme. When the chest mechanic was introduced, it required 350 coins to unlock, which was soon changed to 450. This remained for a while before being reduced to 300, and then once again changed to 350 after complaints. Oh, there is a lot to talk about with the beta version of BEATSTAR. The beta version was released in September 2020, and then a year later, September 2021, was released globally. And since so much happened in the beta, we'll briefly go over some of the main features that are not mentioned deeper in the iceberg. In the beta version of BEATSTAR, there were no stars awarded for playing songs. There were only medals, these being copper, bronze, silver, gold, and platinum. You would unlock cases that give you songs instead of genre cards. There was also an easy difficulty called Starter, which was similar to the tutorial songs found today, with a maximum score of 25,000. There were challenges which you would complete to receive gold vinyls, which are basically just Bitcoins in today's BEATSTAR, as well as gems. There was an event called Venues as well, where you would compete against other players to get the best scores in 2 to 5 songs, and you would be awarded based on your position in the leaderboard. In December 2021, the Journey mode had an overhaul, where you would require less stars to rank up, causing many players to return to the game a higher rank than they were before. The songs in the ranks have changed position many times. BeatStars is a digital production marketplace that allows music producers to license, sell, and give away free beats. This company is often mixed up with BeatStar due to their logo being similar, and they both revolve around music. Around the time of global launch, BeatStar had paired up with several other Supercell games to give players free songs using the accounts of the Supercell games. You could also acquire one of these songs before they were released for free by signing into a Supercell ID in BeatStar. When I Like Him was first released, players complained about the difficulty of the chart, so the developers changed the chart to be more simple not long later. At around the time of global launch, you could unlock 2 free songs by playing other games created by SpaceApe. These songs mean The Touch and Fastlane, the SpaceApe version. To unlock The Touch, you had to play through Transformers Earthwars until you got a prompt telling you to collect the song. And to unlock Fastlane, you did the same, playing through Fastlane Fun Car Racing Arcade. What a name! Until you defeat a boss, where you were rewarded the song. Now, this is just me speaking from the bottom of my heart, but SpaceApe, take this into consideration, at the OG Fastlane by Harry Shotta. Surge, a song by DaBaby, was one of the earliest songs released in BeatStar. Following controversy with DaBaby, the song was removed from BeatStar, with any scores from the song being removed with it. Fun fact, Surge was the only song that me and Paul have ranked F tier during our ranking videos. Fright Fest was an event in October 2021 which came with 3 new songs: Candyman, Down with the Sickness, and Heads Will Roll. Heads Will Roll could be obtained for free during the Halloween event. However, Candyman and Down with the Sickness were only available through purchase with real money due to the branding of early access. London Games Festival was a recent event that gave players free songs: Surgeon Simulator, The Smell of Dirt from Reigns Her Majesty, and Super Leap Day. In the Japanese version of BeatStar, there were several songs that were not in the global version. For a while, you could only obtain these songs by creating an account while your location was set to be Japan. However, these songs have since been released in the global version through international crates, or just being added to the Journey mode. The charts of some of the songs, however, are still different in the Japanese version. During the early stages of BeatStar, but it was only accessible in a few regions, the leaderboard was for everyone playing. However, after global launch, this was changed so the leaderboard is now only your country. On October 1st, 2021, SpaceApe partnered with the charity Special Effect, where all profits received from the UK that day would go towards the charity to aid people with disabilities. Fun fact, this was the only time Paul spent money on BeatStar. At some point during the beta stage of BeatStar, a trailer for the game was released, which simply shows gameplay of the game. But if you look closely when the main menu is on screen, you can see that there is a tour pass, showing that the tour pass had been planned for a long time before it was first released. And also you can see some of the songs that never actually made it to the game. BeatStar can be played on Facebook by finding the gaming shortcut and searching BeatStar. The gameplay is drastically different to the app, it almost feels like a different game. The Facebook version is much easier and runs poorly, and the UI is pretty terrible. You can see how it looks in a new BeatStar Player 180 video, which was released, well, a couple of days ago. Now obviously, songs containing swear words and other harmful topics do have these words censored. However, there have been occasions where they weren't. One example is that when Lovesick was first released, the start of the song, where many illegal substances were mentioned, was not censored.
The road, cause I'm sipping pro, yeah that met this promethazine, yeah stepping, cause I'm sipping, yeah that so, yeah stepping stone.
This was changed later to be clean. An example with this was the opposite is in the Crank That, where the words cocking was censored in the first release and then was changed to be uncensored.
You I'm jacking on you, jacking on you. And if we get the fight, then I'm coming, then I'm coming. You get I'm jacking on you, jacking on you. And if we get the fight, then I'm cocking on you, cocking on you. You catch me.
BEATSTAR have created multiple advertisements for the popular app TikTok, which ranged from fine, I guess, to downright awful. Here are a couple of clips from the ads.
Don't you be a minute.
Yes! Hey, your turn.
Hey, there's a game like no other that allows you to touch your music.
Babe!
I can't stop, I need to finish this level.
Babe!
Yes, I finished the song. Woo!
Oh, thank God for that. Is it my turn?
In November 2021, a glitch was found by users on Discord that allowed you to always get Diamond Perfect on songs with hold notes in the first stage. To do this exploit, you had to fail during the hold note and then continue playing without spending any gems. The multiplier would not revert to where it should be, but instead would stay as it was when you failed, allowing you to continually fail on the hold note and increase your multiplier. After doing this until your multiplier is full in the first stage, you can complete the song with many perfects or greats and get Diamond Perfect. This glitch was quickly patched before it became well known. In patch notes of March 2021, 2 songs are mentioned that there is no legit footage of or mentioned in the game. These were likely extreme songs, because of their sound, that were removed before they were added to the game or soon after they were added. These songs are Rockstar by DaBaby and First in Flight by Black Alicious. Interviews of the Space Ape team revealed that the original plan for BEATSTAR was that it would be an RPG story game with rhythm game aspects to it. During the production of the game, the developers came to the conclusion that the RPG side wouldn't work, and so they changed their plan to just focus on the rhythm game side. I'm sure that if the game did end up being an RPG game, it would be unique and fun, but it's true that the idea would likely fail. So that is it for the BEATSTAR Iceberg. I know that there were other things that could have been mentioned, but sadly we ran out of time to include them. But if you enjoyed this video and would like to see a part 2, let us know in the comments down below. And if you have any trivia, theories that you think we could add to the BEATSTAR Iceberg, let us know in the comments. Thanks for watching, and until next time, bye bye.